What if I told you the real reason that Luka Doncic was traded this weekend wasn't because of the product on the court? Let me explain. So back in 2023, Miriam Adelson, pictured above, wife of now late Sheldon Adelson, and her son-in-law, Patrick Dumont, bought a majority stake in the Dallas Mavericks. As I mentioned, Miriam, wife to the late Sheldon Adelson, who was the founder of Las Vegas Sands, and as of 2020, Las Vegas Sands was the third largest casino company worldwide. Now, the actual sale of the team was shocking considering Mark Cuban was such an outspoken owner in sports. But as you can see, the Dallas Morning News reported Cuban wanted to pair with the Adelson family in order to build a new arena and a casino adjacent to the new convention center. Article goes on to say that Miriam has been pumping $2 million plus into a political action committee called the Texas Sands, basically trying to lobby and get gambling passed in the state of Texas so that this casino plan could come to life. She additionally gave $1 million separately to GOP Governor Greg Abbott. Nevertheless, they have not been able to get the bill through the Senate. They did pass a bill through the House last legislature, in the 88th legislature, but was not approved by the Senate. And as you can see here, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick said he still sees little to no support for expanding gaming within the Senate. So enter Texas lawyer and appellate lawyer plus longtime Mavericks fan Christopher Kratoval, who took to X, basically stating that Luka Doncic, the trade, was part of the Adelsons attempting to play hardball with the Texas legislature. In premise 4 here, he specifically writes that Adelsons need more leverage to get a gambling bill through the Texas legislature. They already donate more money to Texas politicians than literally anyone else, and they employ dozens of good lobbyists. So where the carrot has failed, they need a stick. That stick is the threat to move the Mavs to Vegas unless they get what they want. He goes on to say how an angry fan base, lack of season ticket holders, and a bad team all increase the likelihood that the Adelsons could take the Mavericks elsewhere, aka Las Vegas. And he further points out that Nico Harrison admitting that he talked only to the Lakers further proves that this trade was not purely basketball related, i.e. if it was basketball related, the logical step would be for Harrison to open up the bidding war for Luka Doncic, one of the greatest young players in the game today. Now, while I think there's plenty of flaws in the theory and it's highly speculative, I think when you pair the fact that the Adelsons are pushing for gambling, as well as the fact that Luka Doncic was due for a 5-year, $345 million supermax this offseason, that the ownership group would be more than willing to move on from Luka. Not only willing, but maybe even potentially influential to Nico Harrison in moving on from Luka Doncic. With that being said, none of this would have been possible without GM Nico Harrison. As you can see in this article, Harrison was quoted as the real driving force. However, he did have support from Patrick Dumont on the right here, the team's current governor. Harrison took over as the Mavs GM back in June of 2021 and signed a multi-year extension following the Mavs' appearance in the NBA Finals this past season. Prior to his time in Dallas, Harrison was a longtime Nike executive, best known for botching a pitch back in 2013 with Stephen Curry. Now, the fact that Harrison admitted that he only talked to Rob Pelinka and the Lakers, didn't inform Jason Kidd of the trade prior to the deal being finalized, and that Luka never actually asked out of Dallas raises some serious red flags. Slovenian journalist Iztok Franco reported that, quote-unquote, a person close to the situation described this trade as the ultimate Harrison power trip, calling him a power-hungry man. Another observer said Harrison removed anyone who held a different view. He went on to report that Harrison was responsible for pushing out a lot of people within the Mavs organization that was close to Luka. As you can see above, he points out VP of Basketball Communications Scott Tomlin, along with longtime athletic trainer Casey Smith. He also names players such as Jalen Brunson, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Boban Marjanovic, all players which Luka had close ties to that left under the watch of Harrison. All in all, it was clear that none of these players or personnel fit Nico's vision, and neither did Luka Doncic. Harrison himself even went on to say that defense wins championships, and he cited concerns over Luka's weight and diet habits immediately following the trade. Now, while we'll probably never know for sure why or how this trade actually went down. It's clear that there were many factors beyond the basketball court that led to the most stunning trade in NBA history. And with that, I'll leave you with this interview from Nico Harrison just 2 weeks ago, singing Luka's praises. But please let me know in the comments why you think Luka Doncic was traded. Was this the worst trade of all time? Whatever you want to talk about, I'm here for it. Let me know.
I think it's a tough job, but it's an honor because I feel like we're going to be champions, and it will be because of Luka. So I'll be honored to deliver that championship.